Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. It's beer 30. Let's go take a walk, see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I do appreciate it. Today's beer comes from 11 Below Brewing. They're down in Texas. This is their Big Mistake 2018 edition. It's got a date on the bottom. This is a stout, guys. This is a Russian Imperial Stout coming in at 12.5% according to the can. Beer Advocate groups all these beers from that brewery and called this. And they've done it in 2016, 2017, 2018, and the ABV varies a little bit from batch to batch or year to year, if you will. They have it at 12.3. Untapped has it at 12.5, and that's what it's got on the can. So since Beer Advocate wants to group all of it, and they do this with a lot of beers, guys. What comes to mind, they're enjoyed by a series, but they don't differentiate between all the different batches and years that they've done it. They just throw them all together. And that's what they've done on this one. And that way you get a lot of misinformation because the ABV changes from batch to batch a lot of times. Not always, but sometimes it does, and this one it did. So they have it at 12.3%, which is incorrect. The 2018 edition is 12.5%, and Untapped has it at 68 IBUs. There is a date stamp on the bottom of it, but the month is unreadable. They need to fix their dating machine. It's got the day, it says whatever the month is, and then 2818. I don't have any idea what month it was. So they need to fix that. It's not super critical on a Russian Imperial Stout at 12.5%, but I would like to know that. Was it done in January? Was it done in March? Was it done in June? Well, it couldn't be done in June because the day is the 31st of May. So I knew it was done sometime between January and May. So sometime in the first 5 months of 2018. But you can't read it on the can. The dating machine's got that completely. It's just got a black line there, guys. And then you can see the month, then you can see the year. So they need to fix that. If all the beers they're producing, including their IPAs and double IPAs, had that same problem, that would be enough for me not to buy it. So they need to fix it. 11 Below, can you hear me? Fix your dating machine because you're producing beers that are probably pretty tasty and you can't read the date on them. Not so critical on this one in this style, but if it's an IPA or a double IPA and I can't see that month, I would not buy it. Of course, it's not available here anyway, but I'm just giving you that tidbit of information. This comes from Brandon C. down in Texas. Thanks a bunch, my brother, Brandon, for sending this to me. I think in the note he wrote here saying Big Mistake 2018, the newest version, and he says previously sent to 2016 and 2017. So I've probably reviewed both of those year beers in this category or this name. So let's see what the 2018 brings to the table. And like I said, today is the 31st of May of 2018. This is the final beer of the evening for me, guys. So Untapped has a commercial description as... Ooh, it's a little long. Bear with me here. It's our 3rd birthday, and after a long time out in Texas bourbon and rye whiskey barrels from Cooper Family Rye and Yellow Rose Distillery, we finally let this Imperial Stout out of its corner. Most people learn from their mistakes, but we've never been quick learners, but we promise we'll make good choices in year 4. So, hopefully this is a good beer. I hope they haven't let a bad one out of the brewery. So let's see what this brings to the table. I don't think there's anything else. And since Beer Advocate seems to want to clump all these beers together, their information is incorrect. So I don't know why they don't differentiate between the years or batches. 2016, 2017, 2018 edition. I mean, why not? Especially when the ABV changes. You're putting out information that's incorrect. So, another reason why I'm not a big fan and I don't join Beer Advocate, because there's a whole lot of misinformation that they put out. Just like when it's a double IPA, they say you can sell it. That would be a stupid freaking mistake. You'd never sell an IPA or a double IPA unless you just want a big malty mess. So there's a lot of misinformation on that site, so I'm not a huge fan of it. But we do get our food pairings from those guys over there, and they're pretty general and pretty monotonous and repetitive. Nothing ever changes there in the style of beer, so it is what it is. And I keep reading those, and it may come to a point where I'm not going to give out the food pairings anymore because they're just so monotonous, and I say it over and 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 over. Did I say over and over again? So it is what it is. That's it. So let's stop talking and start pouring. A little 12-ounce can here. Get it into the glass. Like I said, final beer of the evening for me. And while I pour this, I will tell you the food pairing. It says general, chocolate, dessert, digestive, glass, right, a pint, glass, Becker, Nonic, tumbler, snifter. I got my favorite tulip glass. And it says here can be sold for a long period of time. Well, this beer probably can. I don't see any notes that it's been done with coffee or anything that's going to fade. And it is a barrel-aged beer, so I'm hoping we're going to get some bourbon notes on this. And they do a very well job. Half of it run down the side of the can and onto the table. I hate wasting beer, especially good beer, and when it runs all over me or the table or the computers. It's what it is, though. You better learn to pour, huh? Maybe. Alright, didn't pour much of a head, maybe a half a finger. Looks pretty creamy on there. Khaki colored hair. Head, pitch black, guys. I'm not getting any light to it. Looks pretty impressive. Looks like a typical Russian Imperial Stout, which is pitch black, which this is. So, good looking beer. Let's get it to the nose. Yes, definitely getting the bourbon notes on this. Smells absolutely wonderful. Rich roasted malt. Hints of some caramel and toffee and black molasses. Maybe just a little bit of bittersweet chocolate in there. Smells very good. The bourbon is very prominent in it, guys, and that's what I want to see. When I see something that says bourbon barrel or barrel aged, I want to be able to smell that. And I've had beers that says that on the label, and I could not detect it anywhere. Like it was put in barrels that had beer in it before, or wasn't left long enough in the barrels to get that bourbon quality. So this one's got it. Definitely getting the bourbon notes, and it smells absolutely wonderful. I love the smell of a nice bourbon barrel aged beer, especially either in a barley wine or a porter or a stout. These darker beers really take well to having them put in a barrel, as long as it hadn't had coffee or something that's going to fade over time. But this one smells awesome. Smells absolutely awesome. Gotta dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. Wow. That is freaking delicious, guys. 12.5%. Drinks like a 7 or 8%. Now, there's people that their palate's not probably used to drinking a beer this magnitude, and if they're not, they're going to grab this and they're going to pour it in a glass and they're going to take a sip, and it's just going to go, wow. It's going to blow their palate out of their mouth. If you're not used to drinking a 12.5% barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stout, you're going to detect that alcohol. Somebody like me that's had as many beers over the years, reviewing beers, I think it's very, very well done. If I'd have had this beer 10 years ago, it would have probably blew my palate out of my mouth. I would probably be saying, oh my God, this is a boozy mess. Now, I enjoy this style of beer. It's just like everything else. It depends on where your palate is, what you're accustomed to drinking. if you don't drink liquor and you go grab a Wild Turkey 151 and you not have anything stronger than a Budweiser, it's going to kick your palate out of your mouth and you're going to kick your butt on top of that. So it all depends on where your palate is, what you like to drink, and what you're accustomed to drinking. This seems like a very well made beer for where my palate is at right now. Absolutely wonderful. Wow. That is so pleasant. I'm getting hints of that chocolate in there. Maybe some dark fruit, raisins, plums, dates, figs. Already, and it's right out of the fridge. I know that's just going to intensify and get better as it warms up, which I am going to do right now. We're going to sip on this, let her taste it, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on it for a while now. Awesome beer. Absolutely outstanding beer. I fuss a little bit about the dates on a lot of beers. This is a Russian Imperial Stout at 12.5%. It's not critical. It's got 2018 on the front label telling you what year it is. But if we're going to go to the trouble of having a dating machine and stamping the bottom of the can, you need to have that fixed instead of having a big mess on the bottom of the can that nobody can decipher. So I would like to see them fix that. Maybe I got a bad, as far as the dating, it messed up on this one particular can. Maybe not. Maybe all of them come out looking like that. I don't know. So it's just nice for me to know whether it was, if I picked this up in January, if it was available here. If I picked it up in December, whether it was put in a can in January, July, or December of that year, would let me know how long it's been in the can. That's the only reason I fuss about that. Even though it's a 2018 Russian Imperial Stout, it's not going to matter. We do know it's a 2018 edition, so it's not super critical like it is on an IPA or a double IPA. But if they're going to go to that trouble, let's make the dating machine work like it's supposed to. So, as far as I'm concerned, we know it's a 2018 edition. I don't know whether it was done in January or May. Somewhere in between those 5 months, it was put in this can. So, would like to know that, but it's not critical. It's not pertinent information that we have to know. It's just me. It's just my OCD. I think it's a awesome beer, guys. It's absolutely outstanding. The bourbon notes are there. The caramel toffee, black molasses, the chocolate, the dark fruit, everything there. The bourbon notes are standing out, letting me know that they left it in the barrel long enough, and it was a first run barrel that I'm getting those bourbon notes. I'm sure this was not a cheap beer to buy for Brandon. I would buy this beer, guys. I really would buy this beer, even though the dating machine is kind of screwed up. I still know it's a 2018 edition, and they probably only do this once a year, and you may even go to their website and find out when this was actually put in the can. They may have that information, and it may not. I very, very rarely go to the brewery's website to get any information. That should be available either on the can or on any of the sites that we go to. So, to me, it's awesome. I love the bourbon notes on this beer. It's outstanding. It's in the front seat, taking up the whole front seat, and probably a couple other seats there too. Awesome final beer of the evening, which it is for me. Very delicious. Alcohol super well hidden for me for 12.5%, like I said. Absolutely delicious. Final chug. Absolutely delicious, guys. That is an awesome, well-made beer. I would buy it if I could get it here. Even though the month is kind of smudged off. Everything else is still on there. The month they put it in there is unreadable. So even though that being the case, if it was an IPA or double IPA, I would not give it the grade that I'm getting ready to give this. I think this is a 10 beer, guys. It's a 100. Very, very delicious. And I would buy it if I could get it here. Even though the month is smudged, I would still buy it because it's got 2018 edition on the front of the label there. So 99.9% in this style of the beer. That's enough information to let you know. And if you want more information, you may be able to find that at the website, so, which I do not go to. I think I said that already. But anyway, 10 beer for me, guys, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Let's jump over to Beer Advocate and see what they say. And I told you earlier they have it at a 12.3% because they clump all the different versions together into one category, like they do all the beers that are done year after year after year. And this is a 12.5, and they're saying it's a 12.3, so I'm not even going to give you the grade, but they did give it a good grade. Over to Untappd. They do have the 2018 edition listed with the right ABV and 68 IBUs. They have it at 4.31. A numbers from those guys there. I think it's a little better than just a 4.31. I think it's an awesome beer. It's a well-made beer. I can't think of a single reason why I would not give it a 10. Other than having a smudge month on it, and I can't fault that on this beer. It's not an IPA or a double IPA. It's a Russian Imperial Stout at 12.5%. It's awesome. You need to pick it up and get your hands on it. I don't know how far out the distribution is for 11 Below Brewing, but if you can get your hands on them, especially this one, it's a very, very tasty Russian Imperial Stout done in bourbon barrels. So I loved it. Thanks again, Brandon C., for sending this to me. We've covered everything, guys. So if you've had this one from 11 Below, this is the 2018 Big Mistake Russian Imperial Stout done in bourbon barrels. Let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.